Unlock the secret to living glass. Build a pond that never dies. Part 1. Where art meets engineering. The morning sun spills across the surface of a tranquil pond, 3 meters long, 2 meters wide, a mirror so clear it looks like liquid crystal. Beneath the shimmering light, brilliant flashes of red, gold, and white glide through the water, koi fish, symbols of perseverance and prosperity, moving in perfect rhythm with the world around them. At first glance, it looks like nature's own masterpiece. But this clarity, this living glass, is not an accident. It's the result of biomechanical harmony, the seamless marriage between Japanese artistry and modern engineering. Every ripple, every reflection, every breath of these fish exists in balance with a hidden system below, a network of pipes, filters, and physics quietly working in the background to keep the ecosystem alive. This is where art meets science, and where passion meets precision. Imagine standing beside this pond at dawn. The air is cool and still, the koi surface like brushstrokes on a moving canvas, their scales catching the light like molten metal. The water is so pure that you can see every motion, every flick of their tails, no algae bloom, no murkiness, no noise, just peace. But achieving that kind of crystal clear perfection isn't luck, it's design. A 3 by 2 meter pond, small enough for a backyard but engineered with the discipline of a laboratory, hides a world of innovation under its calm surface. Beneath the art lies architecture. The Japanese call it Keikan no Chawa, harmony of landscape. In the West, we might call it eco-symmetry. Here, in this pond, the line between technology and tranquility dissolves. The beauty you see above the surface depends entirely on what's working below it, an invisible choreography of water flow, filtration, and oxygen exchange. That's the secret most people never see. The pond is alive not just because of the fish, but because of the system that sustains them. A pond like this is more than decoration. It's a living ecosystem, an intelligent cycle that turns waste into clarity, movement into stillness, and water into art. To the untrained eye, it's just a few square meters of serenity. To the trained mind, it's a symphony of hydrodynamics, microbiology, and design precision. Let's lift the veil and see what really makes a pond like this breathe. Beneath that sparkling surface lies a 4-chamber filtration system, the true heart of the operation. Each chamber a stage in a natural purification process refined over centuries of Japanese aquaculture. It's an unbroken loop of circulation. Water flows in, is cleansed through physics and biology, and returns purified, creating an endless cycle of renewal. But here's the beauty. None of this feels mechanical. The pumps hum softly, the current moves gently, and yet the entire system mimics nature's perfection. It's like watching an orchestra perform, every component tuned to complement the other. This is biomechanical harmony, the principle that beauty emerges not from chaos, but from intelligent balance between natural forces and human craftsmanship. That harmony begins long before the first koi is released into the pond. It begins in concrete, in geometry, and in the careful calculation of flow. The Japanese masters who designed the earliest koi ponds weren't just fish keepers, they were engineers of serenity. They understood something we're rediscovering today, that the clearest water is created not by force, but by flow. Every inch of a 3 by 2 meter koi pond follows that philosophy. It's not oversized, not extravagant, but perfectly balanced between capacity and circulation. The depth, the slope of the floor, even the curve of the walls, all are tuned to keep debris moving gently toward the bottom drain without disturbing the surface calm. When you peer into a pond like this, what you're seeing is the reflection of good design. The fish glide freely because the water moves silently through invisible channels, mechanical precision hidden beneath organic grace. And the secret lies in the unseen, the bottom drain, the 4 chambers, and the constant rhythm of the pump. These are the lungs and veins of the pond, circulating life, maintaining clarity, ensuring every molecule of water is in perpetual motion. In the world of aquaculture, clarity isn't just about appearance, it's about health. Murky water hides disease, algae, and decay. Crystal water, on the other hand, means oxygenation, balance, and thriving life. To keep that clarity in such a compact pond, only 3 meters long and 2 meters wide, requires precision worthy of an engineer and the sensitivity of an artist. This is where the pond transcends function. It becomes meditation. You can feel it in the sound of trickling water over the return line. Like a mountain stream, you can see it in the way sunlight bends through the current. Every motion is deliberate, calculated, and natural all at once. And yet, there's nothing complicated about it. The beauty of this system lies in its simplicity, a design so intuitive that nature itself approves. The water's path is a loop, from pond to filter to pond again. Purified and reborn, like the breath of the earth, it never stops. The true art of koi pond building is invisible. It's in the way the water level never drops, even as the pump circulates thousands of liters per hour. It's in how the chambers maintain balance, preventing overpressure and tekor, the dreaded water shortfall that plagues poorly designed systems. It's in how every drop moves with purpose, never wasted. Look closer, and you'll realize that what you're seeing isn't just a pond, it's a philosophy of design. A philosophy where nothing is accidental, and every element serves a purpose. The Japanese aesthetic of shibui, quiet elegance, lives here. There are no loud waterfalls, no flashy ornaments, just movement, light, and reflection. The pond itself becomes an instrument of mindfulness, a living sculpture that rewards patience and precision. Even the fish play their part. Koi are not random decorations, they are the living jewels that complete the art. Their slow, deliberate movements embody grace and resilience, traits mirrored by the pond's own steady rhythm. Each bubble rising from the aerator, each ripple on the surface, is a testament to balance. Too much current, and the koi grow stressed. Too little, and the water stagnates. Just enough, and you achieve equilibrium, the perfect point where biology and mechanics hold hands. And that's the magic of this 3 by 2 meter wonder. It's not about size, it's about synergy, a small footprint that contains an entire micro-universe, a controlled environment that looks and feels like untouched nature. In an age obsessed with technology, the koi pond reminds us of something timeless. That true innovation is not about adding complexity, it's about mastering simplicity. This is the story of how to turn ordinary water into living glass. How to transform a humble backyard space into a sanctuary of light, life, and sound. It's not just a pond, it's a statement, a reflection of harmony between man and nature. And in this series, we'll uncover every secret that makes it possible, the geometry, the filtration, the engineering, and the quiet genius that allows this water to remain forever clear. Welcome to the art of living water. Welcome to the Farmer's Alley. Part 2. Foundation and Base Engineering, Building the Heart Below the Waterline. Every masterpiece starts with a foundation, and in the world of koi ponds, that foundation isn't what you see on the surface, it's what's buried beneath it. The calm, flawless water above depends entirely on the stability, precision, and craftsmanship below. Before the first drop of water ever fills the pond, before the first koi glides through its depths, a hidden world of concrete, pipes, and physics must be brought to life. This is the heart beneath the waterline, where everything that sustains beauty begins. Imagine this: a 3 by 2 meter pond, compact but elegant, designed not for show, but for perfection. Every inch of its base has a purpose. If you dig just a little too shallow, the bottom will crack. If the slope is off by even a few centimeters, debris will stagnate. If you underestimate the power of water, thousands of liters pressing downward day after day, the pond will fight back. So, we start with stability. The foundation must be poured in concrete, a reinforced base, core layer, that becomes the backbone of the entire system. This layer doesn't just support weight, it anchors the plumbing network, the veins, of your pond. Without it, the earth beneath can shift, compact, or erode over time. That's how cracks appear, how leaks form, and how a dream pond becomes a nightmare. The Japanese masters understood this long ago. Their ponds were built not just to hold water but to hold time, to remain steady through decades of weather, vibration, and growth. The secret? Foundation before filtration. That's why every modern koi pond begins with one rule: Never install a bottom drain or pipe directly on raw soil. The ground might look solid, but it breathes, it expands and contracts, especially with heat and moisture. Over time, this invisible movement can snap PVC like a twig. So, we dig. We carve out the pond's skeleton, carefully measured, 3 meters long, 2 meters wide, 1 meter deep, then smooth out the contours like an artist shaping clay. Next comes the pipe channel, a trench carved precisely to guide the system's arteries. Then the concrete is poured, 10 to 12 centimeters thick, forming an unbreakable floor that locks every connection in place. The bottom drain, a 2.5-inch pipe. The pond's main lung sits flush with the surface, perfectly level, not a millimeter too high or too low. Once sealed, it becomes part of the concrete itself, unmovable, watertight, eternal. This is the difference between a pond that lasts one season and a pond that lasts a lifetime. As the foundation sets, it becomes more than structure. It becomes geometry, every curve, every slope engineered for one purpose: flow. The base is designed like a shallow bowl, sloping gently toward the center drain. That gradient, subtle yet intentional, ensures that gravity becomes your silent ally. Every particle of waste, every fallen leaf, every unseen fragment of feed is drawn naturally to the center, no effort. No dead zones, no buildup. You see, the best ponds don't fight nature, they borrow its intelligence. When the water enters through the system, it moves in a smooth spiral, like a slow current in a mountain stream. That motion, guided by slope and suction, keeps everything in balance. If the base were flat, water would stagnate, sediment would collect in corners, ammonia levels would spike, and the crystal mirror would fade to murky green. But with a perfect slope and a precisely leveled bottom drain, the system cleans itself continuously. That's the hidden genius of pond engineering. It's an ecosystem designed to require less intervention the better it's built. Once the base is cured, the rest of the system can finally rise. Now we add the 4 chambers, each one a guardian of purity, but before that, the invisible plumbing network must be perfected. The pipes, these silent arteries, connect the pond to its filtration system. Each line has a mission: to move, to filter, to balance. The main drain pipe draws water from the pond's lowest point to the first filtration chamber. Next, a drainage outlet allows for total water release during cleaning or maintenance. Beside it, a control pipe, a simple yet ingenious tool, lets you regulate flow and even manage rainfall overflow. These 3 elements form the sacred trinity of pond plumbing. Ignore one, and the whole system trembles. Let's zoom in. The bottom drain isn't just a pipe, it's a design principle. It must be placed exactly at the center of the pond's floor, extending horizontally toward chamber 1, the mechanical filtration zone. The connection must be seamless, airtight, and pressure-resistant, every joint sealed with solvent cement, every curve aligned for smooth, frictionless flow. From the moment water leaves the pond floor, it embarks on a journey of purification. The mechanical chamber will capture solid waste. The biological chamber will nurture beneficial bacteria. The chemical chamber will polish and stabilize. And finally, the pump chamber will breathe life back into the pond. But none of that works without what's below, the base, the unseen, the heart beneath the surface. When designing the pond foundation, there's one more rule: never overbuild thickness, build accuracy. A base that's too thick wastes material, traps air pockets, and can stress the plumbing. A base that's too thin will flex and crack. A well-engineered 10 to 12 centimeters layer achieves the perfect middle ground, strong enough to hold pressure, flexible enough to move with the earth. And within that concrete heart lies art. When the final layer smooths out, the builder pauses for a moment. The gray stone floor, wet and gleaming, already reflects light like still water. Soon, it will hold a different kind of reflection, scales, motion, color, but even now, it feels alive. The beauty of a pond isn't in what's seen, it's in what's designed to disappear. When visitors admire the perfect stillness of the water, they rarely realize they're standing above a meticulously balanced ecosystem. an alliance between gravity, geometry, and human ingenuity. Under their feet, hidden in the concrete, are countless micro-decisions. How deep should the trench be? How steep should the slope run toward the drain? How long will each pipe be to maintain equal pressure between chambers? Each calculation is a whisper in the language of flow. And when spoken correctly, the pond listens. That's why master pond builders often say, the true beauty of a koi pond lies in its silence. Silence isn't the absence of motion, it's the perfection of motion. A well-built foundation hums quietly, circulating life with no disruption. No splashing, no turbulence, no sound of struggle, only the natural rhythm of water breathing in and out. That's how you know you've achieved balance beneath the surface. In Japan, ancient gardeners treated pond construction as a spiritual practice, each line and curve symbolizing harmony with nature. The bottom drain wasn't just a functional feature, it represented the unseen virtue of humility, working hard without being seen, sustaining beauty without asking for credit. And that philosophy still flows today. Every modern koi pond, no matter how advanced, is built upon that same spirit of reverence. The foundation is not decoration, it's devotion. When you build with precision, the pond rewards you with clarity, with calm, and with years of effortless operation. When you rush it, the pond rebels with leaks, imbalance, and clouded water. The difference is simple. Those who treat the foundation as a formality will always be fighting the pond. Those who treat it as the heart will always live in peace with it. Because at the end of the day, the pond doesn't care about trends or technology. It only obeys one rule: balance. Balance in pressure, in flow, in structure, in purpose. And balance starts right here, at the base, beneath the waterline, where art meets engineering, and engineering meets eternity. Part 3. The Filtration Blueprint, the 4 Chambers of Clarity. Below the water's surface lies an orchestra of precision, a symphony that never stops playing. If the pond's foundation is its heart, then the filtration system is its circulatory system, moving, cleansing, and rejuvenating life every second of every day. This is where the science of clarity begins, the 4 chambers of purity. Each one has a role, a rhythm, and a responsibility. Together, they transform muddy water into something that looks and feels alive. When you stand beside a crystal-clear pond, what you're seeing isn't luck. You're seeing 1,000 invisible processes working in perfect harmony: bacteria, physics, chemistry, and gravity all doing their part. Let's dive beneath the surface. Chamber 1. The Mechanical Sentinel. This is the front line, where the war against dirt begins. As water flows from the bottom drain into Chamber 1, it brings with it everything that doesn't belong: uneaten food, fish waste, leaves, fine silt. It's not glamorous, but this is where clarity is born. Inside this chamber lies a simple genius: Jetmate filter media, a lightweight, porous plastic mat woven like a synthetic sponge. It's strong, washable, and lasts for years. Think of it as a living sieve. Each layer of Jetmate traps larger particles, forcing the water to weave through microscopic tunnels before continuing forward. But Jetmate doesn't just filter, it flows. The gaps between its fibers allow water to breathe, to move naturally. Too dense, and water would stagnate; too open, and debris would pass through. The balance between structure and permeability is what makes it perfect. Beneath the Jetmate sits a perforated platform, a raised floor with holes that allow sediment to settle below. This space, a quiet pocket of stillness, collects the heavier debris that the water no longer carries. Over time, that debris can be flushed out through the backwash outlet, a simple pull and drain mechanism that empties waste directly outside the system. No clogging, no dismantling, no chaos. The result? Chamber 1 becomes the silent guardian, the first line of defense between chaos and clarity. Chamber 2. The Biological Core. Once the heavy lifting is done, the water flows gently into Chamber 2, the biological heart of the system. Here, science and nature shake hands. You can't see it, but this chamber is alive, filled with colonies of beneficial bacteria working around the clock to convert toxic ammonia into harmless nitrate. Ammonia, invisible and deadly, is the silent killer in every pond. It comes from fish waste, uneaten food, and organic decay. If left unchecked, it suffocates the fish from within, poisoning the very water they live in. But in Chamber 2, life fights back. Floating inside this chamber are bioballs, small, round, plastic orbs with intricate lattice patterns. Each bioball provides hundreds of square inches of surface area, giving bacteria a home to live, grow, and multiply. These microbes form a living film, a microscopic ecosystem that converts ammonia to nitrite, and then nitrite to nitrate, through a process called nitrification. It's the same natural cycle that keeps rivers and lakes balanced, now replicated in a backyard masterpiece. To speed up the process, many pond keepers add starter bacteria cultures, liquid or powder formulas that seed the chamber with beneficial organisms. Within days, the bioballs become biological cities, buzzing with unseen life. The water flowing through this chamber is no longer raw, it's refined, detoxified, and oxygenated. If Chamber 1 was the filter, Chamber 2 is the healer. Chamber 3, the chemical finisher. Now the water is cleaner, but not yet perfect. It still carries dissolved impurities, microscopic particles and chemical imbalances that can dull the pond's sparkle. That's where Chamber 3 comes in, the chemist's domain. The final polishing stage. This chamber is lined with zeolite stones, porous volcanic minerals with a secret superpower. They attract and trap ammonia, heavy metals, and other charged ions. It's like molecular magnetism. The zeolite binds to impurities at a chemical level, neutralizing them before they ever reach the fish. The result is not just clean water, but balanced water, clear, stable, and pH neutral. Zeolite also helps in another way. It stabilizes fluctuations caused by rainwater, runoff, or seasonal changes. Because when acid rain or excess minerals enter the system, the pH can shift dangerously. A pond that's too acidic or too alkaline is a death sentence for sensitive koi. The zeolite stones act as nature's buffer, absorbing the chaos, releasing balance. Each stone has millions of microscopic pores, and over time, they can be recharged by rinsing with salt water, restoring their full strength. That means the system never truly wears out, it renews itself. Just like the pond. By the time the water leaves Chamber 3, it's crystal clear and chemically stable, ready for its final transformation. Chamber 4. The living engine, pump and UV chamber. This is where life breathes again. Chamber 4 is both a collector and a launchpad. Here, water that has passed through 3 stages of purification gathers before being sent back into the pond by a powerful pump. But before it returns, it passes through one final guardian, ultraviolet light. A UV lamp, installed inside a quartz sleeve, emits invisible rays that destroy harmful microorganisms, algae spores, bacteria, even mosquito larvae. It's a sterilizer, not a toxin, using pure light to maintain pure water. The effect is mesmerizing. Algae that would normally turn water green are neutralized at the DNA level. Pathogens that might cause fin rot or cloudy eyes are eliminated instantly. The UV chamber doesn't just sanitize, it illuminates. It gives the water that unmistakable, crystal glass shimmer that photographers and pond keepers alike dream of capturing. From here, the water is reborn, pumped back through the return pipe, sometimes cascading as a small waterfall or surface fountain. This movement oxygenates the pond, creating ripples that shimmer in sunlight, the final aesthetic touch in the cycle of life. And thus, the circle completes itself. From pond right pointing arrow, drain right pointing arrow, chamber right pointing arrow, chamber right pointing arrow, chamber right pointing arrow, pump right pointing arrow, pond again. An endless dance of clarity. The harmony of flow. What makes this system magical isn't the parts, it's the balance between them. Each chamber has a specific height, volume, and pipe diameter carefully engineered to maintain a consistent flow rate. If one chamber sits too high or too low, the cycle breaks, airlocks form, water stagnates, and the balance collapses. That's why every transition pipe is positioned at a descending slope, each chamber slightly lower than the one before it. Typically, there's a 5 to 10 centimeters drop between each, creating natural pressure that keeps the water moving smoothly. Gravity becomes the silent engine, working alongside the pump to ensure circulation without waste. This harmony, between pressure and pull, between flow and rest, is what the Japanese call Mizukazi no Michi, the path of the water wind. It's engineering disguised as poetry. And it's the reason a properly built 3 by 2 meter pond can stay clear, balanced, and self-sustaining for years, with only minimal human intervention. No harsh chemicals. No constant cleaning. Just equilibrium, mechanical, biological, chemical, and hydraulic, working as one. A living cycle, not a machine. Here's the truth most newcomers miss. A filtration system isn't a gadget, it's an ecosystem. You don't dominate it, you nurture it. When the water cycles through these 4 chambers, it doesn't just get cleaner, it learns stability. The bacteria adapt to the feeding patterns of the fish. The zeolite adjusts to the pH of your environment. The flow balances itself according to temperature and rainfall. It becomes a living intelligence, one that maintains itself when respected and collapses when ignored. The magic of this system is that it's self-teaching. Once established, it becomes the pond's memory, an unbroken rhythm that keeps your fish thriving and your water glowing. And as you stand beside it, watching the reflection of the morning sky ripple across that living glass, you'll realize something profound. You're not just maintaining a pond, you're tending a masterpiece of biology and design. 4 chambers. 1 heartbeat. Infinite clarity. That's the blueprint, the 4 chambers of clarity. Part 4. Pipe network and flow dynamics, the invisible arteries of the pond. Beneath the shimmering surface of every perfect koi pond lies something you'll never see, and yet, it's what keeps everything alive. It's not the fish, not the plants, not even the chambers. It's the circulatory network, a living system of pipes, slopes, and silent pressure that makes every drop of water move with purpose. This is the invisible bloodstream of your pond. And like any living organism, when its arteries are healthy, everything thrives. When they're blocked, undersized, or unbalanced, chaos begins. The law of flow, balance, not force. Water isn't just a liquid, it's a personality. It doesn't like to be rushed. It doesn't respond well to brute strength. Push it too hard, and it resists. Slow it too much, and it stagnates. True pond design isn't about how fast you can move water, it's about how smoothly you can move it. That's why professional builders follow one sacred law. The pump should never work harder than gravity. Gravity, when used correctly, is the most reliable pump on Earth. It never fails, never burns out, and never costs a cent in electricity. The key is balance, between the size of your pipes, the slope between chambers, and the power of your pump. This trio decides whether your pond becomes a peaceful oasis or a constant battle with leaks, techor, water shortage, and noise. The arteries of the system, pipe size and capacity. Let's start with the veins of the pond, the pipes. At the center of every 3 by 2 meter koi pond is the bottom drain. A 2.5-inch pipe, 6.35 centimeters diameter, embedded in concrete. This is the main intake, the heart valve, that sucks debris and heavy waste toward the filter system. But here's where most people make their first mistake. They assume one big pipe is enough. In reality, the flow between the chambers, the connecting pipes, matters even more than the bottom drain. Why? Because even if the drain can pull a huge volume of water, it means nothing if the water can't travel between chambers fast enough to keep up. If the connecting pipes are too narrow, the pump will start pulling water faster than it's replaced, the techor effect. This creates air pockets, unstable water levels, and eventually damages your pump. To prevent that, builders use this rule of thumb. The total diameter of connecting pipes must equal or exceed the main drain diameter. So, if your bottom drain is 2.5 inches, you'll need 2 2-inch pipes connecting each chamber, for a combined 4 inches of capacity. This ensures that water moves freely between chambers without resistance, without suction lag, and without imbalance. Think of it like building a freeway. You wouldn't design a 6-lane highway that narrows to a single lane before a tunnel. Right? The same logic applies underwater. Every connection must be wide enough to let the water breathe. The symphony of slopes, engineering gravity. Size alone isn't enough. The true secret of circulation lies in elevation, the subtle difference in water levels that creates natural movement. Each chamber must be placed slightly lower than the one before it, usually between 5 and 10 centimeters of difference. From chamber 1, mechanical, to chamber 2, biological, then to chamber 3, chemical, and finally to chamber 4, pump. The water flows downhill, pulled by gravity, not pushed by pressure. It's elegant, it's silent, and it's the reason the system works for decades without strain. If you look at a side cross-section, the chambers form a gentle staircase, each step representing the natural path of water. When gravity does the pulling, the pump no longer has to fight to move water. It simply circulates it, consuming less power, creating less heat, and prolonging its lifespan. The result is what pond engineers call laminar harmony, a perfectly even flow without turbulence, bubbles, or back pressure. And when everything flows right, the water behaves like silk. The physics of flow. Why pressure is the enemy. In a bad design, water moves like a storm, inconsistent, chaotic, full of sudden surges. In a good design, it moves like breath, steady, rhythmic, alive. Pressure is the enemy of clarity. It stirs up debris, damages seals, and distorts filtration. That's why every elbow, every pipe curve, every joint must be planned with the grace of a dancer. No sharp turns, no dead ends. Ideally, every transition between pipes should form a gentle 45 degrees curve instead of a sudden 90 degrees angle. Each bend slows friction, preserving flow velocity and protecting the pump from cavitation, the formation of air bubbles that can burn out its motor. It's not just plumbing, it's choreography. The more fluid the design, the longer the system lives, and the clearer your water becomes. The flow ratio. Matching pump power to pipe capacity. Now, let's talk about the engine, the pump. A typical 3x2 meter pond holds between 3.500 and 4.000 liters of water. For a system this size, the ideal turnover rate is once every hour, meaning all the water in your pond should pass through the filtration system every 60 minutes. To achieve that, you'll need a pump rated between 4.800 and 7.000 liters per hour, 1.250 to 1.850 gallons per hour. But here's the key. The pump should never exceed the flow capacity of your connecting pipes. If it's too powerful, it'll outrun the water supply, pulling more than gravity can deliver, and your final chamber will start to run dry. If it's too weak, the water will stagnate and filtration will fail. The sweet spot is when the pump moves water at the same speed it's replaced. That's the heartbeat of the pond, steady, balanced, eternal. When tuned right, you can watch the system for hours and never see the waterline dip or rise. It simply breathes. The art of silence. Eliminating the Tekor effect. Let's talk about the nightmare every pond owner dreads. Tekor, the word that means shortage or drawdown. It happens when the water level in the pump chamber, chamber 4, drops faster than it's refilled from the previous chambers. You'll hear gurgling, splashing, sometimes even bubbles being sucked into the pump. Within minutes, the system destabilizes, pressure builds, air enters the pipes, and the once silent pond begins to wheeze. But Tekor isn't a mystery, it's a symptom. And every symptom has a cause. Usually, it's one of three. 1. Undersized connecting pipes. 2. No elevation difference between chambers. 3. Pump too powerful for the system. The cure? Simple engineering. Widen the arteries, respect the slope, match the rhythm. Once you adjust the flow, whether by adding a second connecting pipe or slightly lowering the final chamber, the water regains its balance. When the system is tuned, the chambers communicate like lungs. Chamber 1 inhales, Chamber 4 exhales. The pond breathes. That's the poetry of proper flow. The hidden hero. Backflow and overflow design. No matter how perfect your filtration, nature will test it. Rainfall, debris, evaporation, all try to throw your balance off. That's why a professional system always includes smart backflow and overflow design. A backwash line connects to each chamber, letting you flush waste without dismantling the setup. It's connected through a T-joint into the main drain outlet, controlled by a simple vertical pull pipe. Lift the pipe, and dirty water rushes out. Drop it, and the system resets. It's efficient, low cost, and elegantly simple. No mechanical valves, no moving parts. For rainfall and overflow, the same pipe acts as an automatic release. When heavy rain fills the pond beyond capacity, the excess water equalizes through the chambers and exits through the drain, keeping your system safe and steady. Rain doesn't flood, heat doesn't dry it out. The pond stays constant, always breathing, always alive. Why geometry is destiny? At first glance, plumbing might seem dull, just a maze of PVC. But in the world of koi ponds, every angle tells a story. A 5 cm mistake in pipe height can alter flow pressure. A misplaced elbow can create turbulence that disrupts bacteria colonies downstream. Even the spacing between pipe openings affects circulation inside the chambers. This is where geometry meets intuition, where the builder becomes both mathematician and artist. The pond's pipework isn't just functional, it's sculptural. Hidden beneath the soil is a structure of elegance and precision, a design meant to last for decades without noise, leaks, or imbalance. When built correctly, the system requires almost no intervention. It becomes autonomic, like breathing. You don't think about it, you just trust it. That's the highest form of engineering, when something so complex feels utterly natural. The beauty of balance. If you could shrink yourself and dive into the pipes, you'd see a river flowing through a hidden world. Water gliding through smooth PVC tunnels, slowing gently at each chamber, swirling like silk before moving on. Tiny eddies form and vanish. Gravity hums quietly, the whole system feels alive. That's the magic of flow dynamics. Every living pond has a pulse, and when you master the physics of movement, the water doesn't just stay clear, it stays calm. Calm water means calm fish. Calm fish means long life. It's all connected. When the arteries flow in harmony, the pond doesn't just function, it thrives. The fish dance, the plants glow, the water breathes. And all the while, deep below, the silent geometry of pipes continues its eternal work, unseen, unfailing, uncelebrated. But those who understand it, those who've heard the hum of perfect circulation, know this truth. Clarity doesn't come from power, it comes from balance. And in the quiet hum beneath the pond, in the invisible arteries that move life itself, that balance lives forever. Part 5. Surface skimming and drainage systems, keeping the surface alive. The secret to a pond that looks alive isn't only what happens below the surface, it's also what happens on the surface. Because the surface is where the first impression begins, where the sunlight dances, where the koi glide, where reflection becomes art. But it's also where the battle for cleanliness starts. Dust, oil, leaves, pollen, even the thin film of microscopic bacteria, all gather there, dulling the water's sparkle and suffocating oxygen exchange. And that's why every living pond needs a guardian above the waterline, the skimmer. The skimmer, the pond's silent housekeeper. Think of the skimmer as a gentle, invisible hand that keeps your pond breathing. While the bottom drain removes the heavy waste that sinks, the skimmer collects the light debris that floats. Together, they create the perfect duo, one pulling from below, one from above, maintaining balance between gravity and surface tension. In a 3 by 2 meter pond, one well-placed skimmer can make the difference between clear and crystal. Here's how it works. Water from the pond's surface is continuously drawn into the skimmer, not by force, but by flow. The opening sits just at the surface, where the waterline kisses the edge of the intake. A thin layer, barely a few millimeters, slides gently over that lip, carrying with it everything that doesn't belong. Leaves, insects, dust, and even tiny bubbles of fish oil drift silently toward the skimmer's mouth, disappearing as if swallowed by the water itself. Inside the skimmer, a floating basket collects this debris before it can sink and decompose. It's easy to lift, easy to clean, a simple ritual that takes seconds but preserves clarity for weeks. And here's the beauty. A good skimmer doesn't disturb the serenity of the pond. It doesn't churn or splash. It doesn't roar with suction. It simply glides, like a whisper on the surface of still water. Placement. Where precision meets performance. Where you put your skimmer determines how your pond breathes. Too close to the waterfall return, and it fights against the current. Too far from the water's natural circulation, and it collects nothing. The perfect placement? Along the line where wind and current naturally push surface debris, usually opposite your waterfall or return pipe. It's like positioning a net downstream of a river. You let the flow do most of the work. In the 3 by 2 meter pond model, the skimmer sits just above the main drain pipe, slightly offset to one side to avoid direct suction alignment. This ensures that both systems, the skimmer and the bottom drain, work complementarily, not competitively. The result? Surface debris flows in naturally, guided by gentle ripples rather than mechanical force. Your pond looks alive, never stagnant, never sterile. Types of skimmers. The art of adaptation. There are 2 main types of skimmers used in small to mid-sized koi ponds. 1. Fixed wall skimmers, built into the pond wall, flush with the waterline. These are ideal for permanent setups with concrete walls, offering high durability and low maintenance. 2. Floating skimmers, mounted on buoyant rings that automatically adjust to changing water levels. These are perfect for outdoor ponds exposed to heavy rain or evaporation. As the water rises or falls, the floating skimmer follows, keeping its intake precisely at the surface. This adaptability is key, especially in climates where rainfall is unpredictable. A floating skimmer moves with nature, not against it. It rises with the storm and lowers with the sun, ensuring your pond's surface always remains active, never stagnant. The dance of reflection. Why surface clarity matters. Crystal water isn't just for aesthetics, it's physics. The surface of your pond is a living mirror. It's where light, air, and water meet. When that surface is coated with organic film or floating debris, it breaks the bond between oxygen and water. The result? Oxygen depletion, pH imbalance, and dull water. But when the surface stays clear, when the skimmer does its quiet work, the sunlight penetrates deeper. Photosynthesis increases. Beneficial bacteria flourish. The water temperature stabilizes. Your pond becomes a breathing organism, in perfect equilibrium. You'll notice it in the way the fish move. They'll glide more confidently, their colors glowing brighter in the sunlight. Because when the surface is healthy, the entire ecosystem below thrives. That's why Japanese koi farms, some of the most renowned in the world, always consider surface circulation as sacred. To them, a still surface isn't peace, it's stagnation. A living surface, gently moving, lightly breathing, is the essence of harmony. The backwash system, cleaning without chaos. Now let's move below the skimmer, to the part that makes maintenance effortless, the backwash system. Every pond, no matter how perfectly filtered, accumulates sediment and organic waste in its chambers over time. The challenge is cleaning it without tearing the system apart. That's where the backwash line comes in, a brilliant yet simple design rooted in gravity. Each chamber is equipped with a drain pipe at its lowest point. These individual lines connect into a main discharge pipe via a T-joint. Attached to that T-joint is a vertical control pipe, a short PVC tube that acts like a handle. When you need to clean the system, you simply lift the control pipe, and gravity does the rest. Dirty water rushes out through the backwash line, carrying waste, silt, and decayed matter with it. Once the chamber clears, you push the control pipe back down, sealing the outlet. No pumps, no valves, no mess. It's the kind of engineering that's so intuitive, It feels almost ancient. The best part? You can use the same system to refresh your pond water during partial changes. A quick lift of the pipe, and 10 to 20% of your pond drains out, ready to be replaced with clean water. It's simplicity in service of sustainability. Overflow protection. Preparing for nature's mood swings. A well-designed pond doesn't just look beautiful, it thinks ahead. Rainstorms can turn a peaceful pond into a miniature floodplain in minutes. Without a proper overflow system, rising water can flood filters, drown pumps, and even wash koi over the edge. But when the system is designed smartly, nature's chaos becomes part of its rhythm. The same drainage line that handles backwash also doubles as your overflow outlet. Here's how. When heavy rain falls and fills the pond, the water level rises evenly across all chambers, pond, filters, and pump. Once it reaches the height of the overflow pipe, the excess water flows automatically into the drain, exiting safely. No sensors, no switches, no electricity. Just physics, pure and reliable. And since the overflow uses the same outlet as the backwash system, you don't need extra construction. One intelligent line, two essential functions. That's efficiency that lasts forever. The art of hidden functionality. When done right, none of this is visible. Your skimmer disappears into the wall. Your drain lines vanish underground. Your backwash control stands like a small, unassuming tube near the filter, quiet, practical, ready when needed. Visitors won't even notice them, they'll only see the result. A pond that never overflows, never stagnates, never smells, never loses its shine. This is what separates an ordinary pond from a living water sculpture. Every hidden system, every skimmer, every pipe, every valve, becomes part of the aesthetic through its absence. Perfection is achieved not when there's nothing more to add, but when there's nothing left to see. Harmony above and below. When you step back and watch the pond as a whole, the skimmer above, the drain below, the chambers in between, you realize something profound. This isn't plumbing, it's choreography. The water doesn't just move, it dances. It flows upward, downward, and outward in perfect synchrony, guided by gravity, light, and design. Every system, from the skimmer's subtle pull to the backwash's simple release, plays its part in maintaining the illusion of stillness. That's the beauty of true pond engineering. It's invisible, but it's everywhere. And when you get it right, the surface itself becomes art, a living mirror that reflects not just the sky, but the intelligence that created it. Why this matters? For the untrained eye, a pond is just water. But for the builder, the designer, the keeper, it's a living equation. A skimmer that's 1 inch too high can break the surface tension. A missing overflow pipe can ruin the balance of pressure. A backwash system that's poorly angled can waste hours of labor. But when every piece is placed with care, when each movement of water is predicted and welcomed, the pond enters a state of autonomous beauty. It maintains itself. It self-cleans. It breathes without effort. And that's when you know you've achieved biomechanical harmony, the same principle that began this journey. A pond that breathes. A surface that lives. A system that disappears into perfection. This is not just engineering. This is elegance disguised as water. Part 6. Filter media engineering, where bacteria do the magic. If the pipes are the arteries and the chambers are the organs, then the filter media is the soul of your pond. It's the living tissue that transforms dead water into breathing life, the silent army of microscopic workers that never sleep, never rest, and never fail. This is the realm where biology and engineering meet, where plastic and stone become homes for bacteria, and where water purification becomes an act of quiet genius. The philosophy of the filter, life through layers. In nature, every drop of water passes through layers, soil, sand, rock, and root, each one removing impurities, balancing minerals, and nurturing life. A perfect pond is nothing more than that process, recreated in miniature. But instead of sand and roots, we use engineered materials, Jetmate, bioballs, and zeolite. Each material plays a different role: mechanical, biological, and chemical, and together, they form the three pillars of clarity. These aren't just filters, they're ecosystems. They don't fight against nature, they replicate it, compressing what takes miles of river to accomplish into a space no bigger than a few chambers. Jetmate, the mechanical genius. We start where the water starts, Jetmate, the first and most visible layer of defense. Jetmate looks simple: sheets of synthetic fiber or foam, light enough to float but dense enough to trap debris. But its design is the result of decades of hydrodynamic testing. Each layer is woven to capture particles of different sizes, large at the top, fine at the bottom, mimicking the natural gradation of a riverbed. As the water from chamber 1 enters this media, it slows down. Velocity drops, allowing gravity to do its job. Heavy waste settles below, while the remaining fine particles cling to the Jetmate fibers. The effect is both mechanical and graceful. The water is never forced, it's persuaded. It flows, breathes, and releases its impurities willingly. But the beauty of Jetmate doesn't stop there. Because it's non-absorbent, it doesn't rot or decay. You can rinse it, reuse it, and reshape it endlessly. A simple weekly wash in pond water, never tap water. Chlorine kills the beneficial bacteria, is enough to keep it performing perfectly. Jetmate is the workhorse of clarity, low cost, low maintenance, and incredibly effective. It doesn't just clean water, it prepares it, setting the stage for the biological miracle that follows. Bioballs, the architects of life. After mechanical filtration comes transformation. The water that enters chamber 2 has already shed its visible impurities. But it still carries invisible toxins, ammonia, nitrite, and organic compounds. Here, the bioballs take over. At first glance, they look like small plastic orbs, light, hollow, and covered in delicate ridges and lattices. But those shapes aren't random, they're architectural. Each bioball provides an enormous surface area for bacterial colonies to grow, up to 600 square meters per cubic meter of media. That's the magic. Surface area equals life. The more texture, the more bacteria. The more bacteria, the more efficient the conversion of toxins into harmless compounds. Inside this chamber, water flows gently, never turbulent, never still. Just enough movement to bring oxygen and nutrients to the bacteria, but not enough to disturb their colonies. These bacteria, often called nitrosomonas and nitrobacter, are the invisible alchemists of your pond. They perform the nitrogen cycle. Step 1. Convert ammonia, toxic, right-pointing arrow nitrite, less toxic. Step 2. Convert nitrite right-pointing arrow nitrate, safe for fish and plants. This process happens every second, constantly, silently. The bioballs never stop breathing. Over time, they become covered in a thin film, brownish, sometimes slimy, the mark of a healthy colony. It may not look beautiful, but it's the biological equivalent of a coral reef, thriving, alive, essential. And like coral, it's sensitive. If you clean it too harshly or expose it to chlorine, you'll destroy the ecosystem it nurtures. Treat it gently, and it will serve you for years, balancing the chemistry of your pond better than any synthetic chemical ever could. Zeolite, the silent chemist. Next comes chamber 3, where chemistry refines what biology has begun. Here lies zeolite, a volcanic mineral born from heat, pressure, and time. Zeolite isn't impressive to look at, just gray, porous stones. But inside those pores lies a world of power. Each stone is a molecular sponge, capable of trapping and holding positively charged ions like ammonia, potassium, and heavy metals. The process is called cation exchange, and it's what allows zeolite to polish the water, removing invisible impurities that slip past even the most advanced biological filters. Think of it as the finishing artist, the one who adds the last brushstrokes to perfection. The water that leaves chamber 2 enters zeolite like raw light, clean but unrefined. When it exits, it's optically pure, free of odor, balanced in pH, and rich in dissolved oxygen. And unlike synthetic media, zeolite doesn't deplete or dissolve quickly. When it fills with absorbed ions, you can recharge it, Simply soak it in a saltwater solution overnight. The salt pushes out the trapped ammonia, resetting the zeolite's capacity back to 100%. It's recycling at its finest, science turned sustainable. The layering principle, flowing through life. Each material, Jetmate, bioballs, zeolite, represents a step in the natural evolution of water. 1. Jetmate removes the physical. 2. Bioballs balance the biological. 3. Zeolite perfects the chemical. Together, they create what pond engineers call multidimensional filtration, a system that doesn't just clean, but cultivates. The layers are arranged like a river delta, each one slower and finer than the last. The goal isn't to trap, it's to transform. Because in a true biomechanical system, filtration is not destruction, it's conversion. Waste becomes nutrient. Toxin becomes balance. Water becomes life. That's the secret, and the reason koi ponds built with this method can remain crystal clear for years with minimal intervention. Designing the perfect media chamber. The placement of these materials matters as much as the materials themselves. Jetmate should be at the front, right after the inlet, to catch the debris immediately. Bioballs belong in the middle zone, submerged but with enough oxygen flow to sustain bacteria. Zeolite should rest at the final stage, where water is already clean enough to allow precise chemical polishing. A simple perforated divider or PVC rack separates each layer, allowing flow without turbulence. You never want the water to fall, you want it to glide. And beneath all of it, a small void chamber, dead zone, collects any stray sediment, which can be flushed out during backwash cleaning. Every inch of this layout is designed for one goal: continuous motion. Zero stagnation. Anchoring and aeration, the subtle arts. Because Jetmate and bioballs are lightweight, they tend to float. To keep them stable, experienced builders use small anchoring stones or mesh bags. This ensures the media stays submerged but not compressed. Above them, gentle aeration from an air stone or diffuser keeps the water alive. Oxygen isn't just for fish, it's for bacteria, too. Without oxygen, nitrifying bacteria suffocate. With too much turbulence, they detach. The secret is soft aeration, like the sigh of a stream, not the roar of a fountain. It's in this delicate dance of oxygen and water that the bacteria thrive, multiplying into billions of microscopic guardians that keep the pond alive. The living factory. If you could zoom in to the microscopic level, you'd see an entire civilization inside your filter. Water flows like wind through city streets. Bacteria cling to the surfaces like citizens, busy at work. Organic waste breaks down, molecule by molecule. Ammonia and nitrite vanish, leaving only clean, breathable water behind. It's a living factory of purity, one that never sleeps. The sound you hear, that gentle hum of flow, is the sound of billions of lives working together in harmony. And yet, this miracle of biology needs no digital sensors, no programming, no electricity. It runs on nature's oldest software, balance. The maintenance of magic. The key to sustaining this system is respect. You don't clean it aggressively, you renew it. Jetmate can be rinsed weekly in pond water. Bioballs should only be gently swished once every few months, never scrubbed. Zeolite should be recharged every few weeks, depending on stocking density. Never wash with chlorinated water, never over-clean, and never shut off the flow for too long. A pond is like a heart. If it stops pumping, the life inside fades. Keep it moving, keep it breathing, and it will reward you with clarity beyond imagination. The miracle of the invisible. When you stand beside a perfectly clear pond, watching koi glide through what looks like glass, you might think it's magic. But it's not. It's microbiology. It's patience. It's design. The true miracle isn't that the water is clear, it's that life itself keeps it that way. The bacteria, unseen but indispensable, are the silent gardeners of your underwater world. They're proof that even in stillness, there's infinite motion. And when you understand that, when you see the invisible harmony beneath the surface, you'll realize you haven't just built a pond. You've built an ecosystem of perfection. Part 7. Preventing Water Imbalance, TEKOR, the hidden killer of filtration systems. In every great koi pond, there's an enemy that hides in silence, not a predator, not a disease, but a flaw in balance. It doesn't roar, it doesn't leak, it doesn't announce itself. And yet, it can undo months of craftsmanship, cloud your water overnight, and burn out the heart of your system. Its name is tekor, a small word with devastating consequences. In Indonesian and Vietnamese pond building circles, tekor simply means shortage. But in the language of water, it means imbalance. It's the invisible killer of circulation, the point where your pump demands more water than gravity can supply. And when it strikes, even the most beautiful pond can falter. The anatomy of tekor. To understand tekor, you must first understand flow, the conversation between gravity and machinery. Your pond's entire ecosystem is built upon a simple dialogue. Gravity pulls water through the chambers. The pump pushes it back into the pond. When both forces are in sync, the system breathes effortlessly, like a heartbeat. But if one speaks louder than the other, the conversation breaks. When the pump pulls faster than gravity refills, Chamber 4, the pump chamber, begins to drain faster than it's replenished. The water level drops. Bubbles enter the suction line. The pump starts to wheeze, cavitation forms, pressure spikes, and soon, the motor overheats. That's tekor, a system gasping for breath. The signs of tekor. Most pond owners don't notice tekor right away. It starts subtly, a small gurgle in the pipe, a faint whine from the pump. But the signs are there, if you listen. 1. The water line in Chamber 4 begins to fluctuate. It dips and rises like a pulse, revealing the pump's struggle to draw enough water. 2. Air bubbles appear in the return line. Tiny bursts of oxygen are pulled into the pump intake, forming froth at the waterfall outlet. 3. You hear irregular suction sounds. The once silent system now whispers in gasps, a sure sign that air has entered where only water should flow. 4. Your UV light starts to flicker or overheat. Because air bubbles disturb flow consistency, the sterilizer chamber begins to run dry in cycles. Left unchecked, these symptoms lead to pump burnout, chamber collapse, and eventually, stagnant, murky water. It's not just technical failure, it's ecological collapse. Why tekor happens? Tekor doesn't happen because of bad luck. It happens because of imbalanced design. There are 3 main causes, all preventable. 1. Undersized connecting pipes. When the pipes between chambers are too narrow, water can't travel fast enough to match the pump's suction. The flow becomes bottlenecked, and the final chamber runs dry faster than it can refill. 2. Incorrect elevation levels. If all chambers are built at the same height, gravity has no slope to work with. Without pressure difference, water crawls instead of flows, leading to stagnation and eventual shortage. 3. Overpowered pumps. Many beginners think, stronger pump equals better filtration. But when a pump overpowers gravity, it creates suction faster than the system can supply water, leading to cavitation and mechanical strain. Each of these errors alone can cause tekor. Together, they guarantee it. The engineering solution: balance over brute force. The secret to eliminating tekor lies not in more power, but in better balance. Professional builders follow a golden formula. For every liter pulled by the pump, gravity must deliver 1 liter back, continuously. To achieve this equilibrium, the design must synchronize 3 critical elements. 1. Pipe diameter. 2. Slope gradient. 3. Pump capacity. Let's decode them one by one. 1. Pipe diameter. The breathing capacity of water. Water, like air, needs room to move. A 2.5-inch bottom drain may seem large, but if your connecting pipes are smaller, you're choking the system. The rule is simple. The total diameter of connecting pipes must exceed the drain diameter by at least 30 to 40%. That's why 2 2-inch pipes, 4-inch total capacity, are ideal for a 2.5-inch drain. This ensures the chambers fill as fast as the pump empties them. It's the hydraulic equivalent of matching inhale to exhale. 2. Slope gradient. The gravity advantage. Gravity is your pond's oldest friend, and its most patient worker. Each chamber should sit 7 to 10 centimeters lower than the previous one, creating a cascade of pressure that naturally drives water forward. This descending flow ensures that even without pump suction, water continues to circulate gently between chambers. It's like an old Japanese water garden, silent, steady, eternal. Without that slope, however, your system is like a flat heart, it beats, but nothing moves. 3. Pump capacity. The pulse of circulation. The pump is the heartbeat of your pond, but even hearts can beat too fast. For a pond of 3 by 2 meters, depth around 1 meter. Total 4.800 to 5.000 liters. The ideal pump range is 4.800 to 7.000 liters per hour, LH. This allows a full turnover every hour without pulling faster than gravity can deliver. Go beyond that, and you risk techor. Stay below that, and the water becomes lazy, murky, warm, and lifeless. Like a pulse, the pump must find its rhythm, not too strong, not too weak. The hidden math of flow. Let's visualize what's happening beneath the surface. Imagine your pond as a set of lungs. Chamber 1 fills with dirty water from the pond, the inhale. Chambers 2 and 3 filter and stabilize, the bloodstream. Chamber 4 pumps it back, the exhale. If the chambers can't refill fast enough, the lungs collapse. That's why techor isn't just a mechanical issue, it's a physiological failure in your pond's body. The rhythm must be natural, sustainable, and self-correcting. In engineering terms, flow rate in, gravity, equals flow rate out, pump. Pressure drop, between chambers, equals optimal flow continuity. If either side of the equation breaks, techor appears, silently, but surely. Real-world example. The 3 by 2 meter case. Let's break it down in practical terms. Pond dimensions. 3 meters by 2 meters by 1 meter depth equals 6.000 liters. Bottom drain, 2.5 inches. Connecting pipes. 2 pipes by 2 inches equals 4 inches total capacity. Pump. 6.000 L/H capacity. Slope. 8 centimeters difference between each chamber. This combination achieves perfect balance. Why? Because every liter of water pulled out by the pump has a clear, pressure-assisted path back through the system. The chambers never run dry, the water level stays stable, and the pond stays clear. In contrast, if you used only one 2-inch pipe, you'd lose about 30% of your flow efficiency. The pump would outrun the supply, causing chamber 4 to drop and suck air, the birth of techor. How to fix techor in existing ponds. If you're already facing techor, don't panic. The cure doesn't always require tearing everything apart. Here's how to diagnose and repair it. 1. Observe water levels. Turn on your pump and watch. If chamber 4's waterline drops more than 3 to 5 centimeters while others stay full, you have techor. 2. Check connecting pipes. If your system uses only one small pipe, consider adding a second one in parallel. Doubling the flow path halves the pressure load. 3. Lower chamber heights. If possible, create a 7 to 10 centimeters elevation difference between each chamber. Even a small slope increase can restore gravity's pull. 4. Throttle pump output. Use a ball valve or flow controller to slightly reduce pump speed. Slowing the exhale gives gravity time to inhale. Within hours, you'll see the system stabilize, chambers balanced, waterline steady, flow smooth, techor defeated. The psychological side of balance. There's a poetic truth in this technical problem. Techor is more than a plumbing issue, it's a lesson in humility. You can't force harmony. You can only design for it. A pond that fights gravity will always lose. A pond that flows with gravity will live forever. That's why the most advanced systems in the world still rely on ancient principles: slope, pressure, Patience. Technology may enhance it, but it can never replace it. The sound of success. You'll know you've conquered techcore not through numbers, but through silence. No more gurgles. No more suction hiss. Just a calm, steady hum. Stand beside your pond at dusk. Listen to the soft rhythm of flowing water, even, balanced, infinite. That's the sound of a pond in perfect circulation. It's the sound of breath restored. Balance is eternal. At its core, preventing techcore is about respecting equilibrium. Every component, from the pipe to the pump to the bacteria, is part of the same heartbeat. When one works too hard, the others suffer. When one rests too much, the others stagnate. The goal is never perfection. The goal is balance. Because in that balance lies everything: clarity, longevity, and peace. And when your pond reaches that point, when it breathes without your help, when it flows without your force, you've done more than build a filtration system. You've built a self-sustaining harmony of life. That's the real victory over techcore. Not just a technical fix, but a spiritual one, the alignment of engineering with nature's wisdom. The hidden killer has been named, understood, and defeated. Your pond, once again, flows in rhythm with gravity itself. And in that rhythm, life begins anew. Part 8. Waterproofing and leak control, sealing the future. If there's one word that sends a chill down every pond builder's spine, it's this: leak. Leaks are the silent destroyers, the invisible cracks in perfection. They don't explode like pump failures or cloud the water overnight. They creep in quietly, drop by drop, until one day you notice the surface has fallen. The filter hums louder, and your heart sinks with every centimeter of lost water. It's the nightmare no pond owner wants, and yet, it's entirely preventable. Building a waterproof pond isn't about fighting nature. It's about outsmarting it. Because the truth is simple: water will always find a way, unless you've already sealed every path it could possibly take. The philosophy of waterproofing: build once, seal forever. Waterproofing isn't a task you do at the end of construction, it's a philosophy you apply from the very first step. A perfect seal begins long before you pour the concrete. It begins in the mindset of the builder, the awareness that every pipe, every joint, every corner is a potential gateway for escape. And once that philosophy becomes habit, your pond transforms from a structure into a vessel, not just for water, but for time. Because a well-sealed pond isn't just watertight, it's worry-proof. Understanding the three faces of leaks. Not all leaks are the same. To fix or prevent them, you must first know their nature. 1. External leaks, Bokor Kaluar area chamber. These are the most dangerous, the water escaping outward. Beyond your pond are chamber walls. This kind of leak doesn't just waste water, it weakens the foundation, erodes the soil, and can lead to wall collapse. The cause? Usually poor joint sealing or cracks from soil movement beneath the concrete base. 2. Interchamber leaks, Bokor Antar chamber. These occur between filter chambers when the divider walls aren't sealed properly. Water seeps from one chamber to another without following the intended flow path. While not catastrophic, this kind of leak disrupts circulation, especially when unfiltered water skips the first chamber and mixes with the clean chamber prematurely. 3. Internal system leaks, Bokor K. Kolam Utama, chamber Kusis. This is the most deceptive, when water bypasses filters and flows straight into the pump or main pond. Suddenly, dirty water re-enters the system, and within hours your crystal pond turns cloudy. Each type demands a different solution, but all share one common truth: prevention is easier than repair. The invisible culprit, the pipe joints. Ask any experienced builder where most leaks begin, and they'll answer in one word: pipes. It's not the walls. It's not the floor. It's the joints, where one pipe meets another, or where the pipe passes through concrete. Every joint is a tiny war zone between movement and stillness, between plastic and stone. If sealed poorly, even a millimeter of looseness becomes a highway for leaks. That's why before a single drop of concrete touches the ground, every pipe connection must be Cleaned with solvent primer to remove oil and dust. Coated in PVC cement on both ends, not just one. Twisted firmly, a quarter turn, during bonding to eliminate air gaps. After gluing, allow at least 24 hours of curing time before any pressure testing or concrete pour. Skipping this curing time is like sealing a wound before it closes. It looks fine for a day, then bleeds forever. The golden rule: pressure test before you pour. Once all pipes are installed, fill them with water before sealing them in concrete. This simple test can save weeks of frustration later. Here's how. 1. Plug both ends of each pipe. 2. Fill the pipe with water using a funnel or hose. 3. Wait 24 hours. If the water level drops, even by a few millimeters, there's a micro leak. Find it, fix it, then test again. Only when every line passes the pressure test should you allow the concrete pour. This is the stage where most builders fail, not because they don't know how, but because they don't take the time. A leak-free pond isn't built fast, it's built right. The foundation seal. Where water meets earth. The most vulnerable area of any pond is where the floor meets the wall. This 90 degrees joint bears the weight of both structure and pressure. And even the smallest crack here can turn into a disaster. The professional solution? A fillet cove joint, a smooth curve of waterproof mortar connecting the base to the wall, eliminating sharp corners where cracks can form. Over that, apply 2 layers of polyurethane waterproof coating, flexible, UV resistant, and strong enough to handle micro movement without cracking. Avoid bitumen-based sealants for ponds housing fish. They may be cheap, but they release toxins that harm aquatic life. Always choose fish-safe polyurethane or acrylic elastomeric coatings. And for extra strength, reinforce corners and edges with fiber mesh tape before applying the sealant. The wall integrity, cracks, pores, and the myth of perfect concrete. No matter how perfectly you mix or pour, concrete is never flawless. It breathes, expands, contracts, and eventually cracks. The key is not to stop cracking, but to control it. This is where expansion joints come in. Installed every 2 to 3 meters. These small, flexible strips allow the pond to shift slightly without breaking its seal. Then comes surface sealing. Once the pond walls have cured, usually 21 to 28 days, they should be coated with 1. Primer coat, to fill pores. 2. 2 waterproof layers, cross-applied at 90 degrees angles. 3. Final top coat, a smooth finish that resists UV and algae growth. Each layer should dry fully before the next is applied. And when done right, the surface won't just be waterproof, it will reflect light like glass. Sealing the pipes through concrete. When a pipe passes through a wall or chamber divider, it creates a potential weak point, a ring-shaped void that concrete can't grip evenly. To eliminate this, professionals use a technique called the sleeve and wrap. Here's how it works. A larger PVC sleeve pipe is embedded in the wall first. The main pipe passes through it, surrounded by a soft rubber gasket or sealant wrap. The space between the sleeve and main pipe is filled with polyurethane sealant. This creates a flexible joint, one that moves with both concrete and pipe without cracking. Even if the wall shifts slightly over time, the joint stays sealed. The water stays home. The post-seal test, the moment of truth. After the entire pond has been sealed and dried, it's time for the ultimate test, the 24-hour water challenge. Fill the pond completely, mark the waterline, and wait 1 full day. Then check again. If the level hasn't dropped, congratulations. You've achieved structural perfection. If it has, don't despair. The test isn't failure, it's feedback. Draining and resealing now is infinitely easier than repairing after the system is live. Emergency repairs. Fixing leaks without draining. Sometimes, leaks appear months later, from hairline cracks or settlement shifts. Draining the pond completely can be risky and time-consuming. Fortunately, there are underwater repair techniques that save both time and fish. 1. Epoxy putty. A 2-part, fish-safe compound that hardens even underwater. perfect for sealing cracks or small joint leaks. 2. Polyurethane injection. Used for structural cracks. This method injects liquid resin that expands to fill voids and seals the leak permanently. 3. Patch liners. For larger issues, flexible pond liners, EPDM or PVC, can be added as an inner skin, creating a secondary waterproof barrier inside the concrete shell. With these tools, even an aging pond can be reborn. The wisdom of patience. Every master pond builder eventually learns this truth. The faster you rush to finish, the sooner you'll have to start again. Waterproofing isn't about speed, it's about patience, the kind that rewards you with years of serenity. Each layer, each seal, each test is an act of care, invisible to the eye, but vital to the spirit of the pond. Because when the water finally fills, and the sunlight dances on that mirror-like surface, you'll know that below the beauty lies strength, silent, steadfast, eternal. Sealing the future. The phrase, sealing the future, isn't poetic exaggeration, it's literal truth. When you waterproof a pond correctly, you're not just protecting concrete, you're protecting memories, investments, and life itself. A leak-free pond is a living legacy, one that will hum quietly for decades, needing no apology, no repair, no regret. So the next time you see the reflection of your koi gliding through crystal water, remember, that clarity isn't just art. It's engineering. It's precision. It's patience. And it all begins with one sacred promise. No leaks, ever. Part 9. Optimizing aesthetics and maintenance, beauty that lasts. You've built the heart. You've mastered the flow. You've sealed the system against time itself. Now comes the soul of the pond, the art of beauty that endures. Because no matter how flawless your filtration or engineering may be, the pond only becomes alive when form meets feeling, when every stone, ripple, and reflection tells a story. This is the part where engineering bows to artistry. Where the calm surface becomes more than water, it becomes emotion. Welcome to the philosophy of aesthetic longevity. The minimalist secret, the beauty of restraint. Japanese pond design has a saying. Perfection is achieved not when there's nothing left to add, but when there's nothing left to remove. In the Western world, it's easy to over-decorate, to add fountains, statues, and endless lighting. But in traditional koi philosophy, beauty is born from restraint. A 3 by 2 meter pond doesn't need grandeur, it needs grace. Start with simplicity. A flat stone bridge that crosses the pond halfway. A few moss-covered rocks arranged asymmetrically, never forced, never mirrored. A bamboo spout or minimalist waterfall that whispers instead of roars. These small touches, when done right, transform the pond from construction into composition. Every element should look as if it's always been there. When guests stand beside it, they shouldn't see design, they should see nature remembering itself. The dance of light and reflection. The most powerful aesthetic element in a koi pond isn't rock, plant, or even fish. It's light. Light is what turns still water into living glass, what brings depth, warmth, and motion even to silence. To harness light, you must think like both a sculptor and a scientist. 1. Natural light. Build your pond where the morning sun reaches but the afternoon sun softens. Too much direct light breeds algae, too little, and the pond loses its sparkle. Partial shade from a tree or pergola creates the perfect play between brightness and reflection. 2. Underwater lighting. LED submersible lights, positioned at a 30 degrees upward angle, make fish glow like living lanterns at night. But moderation is key. 2 or 3 warm white lights, not harsh blue, are enough for a pond of this size. 3. Reflected light. Use light-colored stones or cream tile edges around the pond perimeter. They amplify daylight, making the pond appear deeper and larger than it is. The result? A pond that changes character with every hour, from misty silver at dawn to molten gold at sunset to tranquil amber at night. It's not just scenery. It's theater. Water features. Movement as art. Every pond needs movement, not chaos, but rhythm. Because water that moves gently stays alive, water that stands still begins to die. A small waterfall return pipe serves both function and aesthetics. It oxygenates the pond, prevents surface stagnation, and creates that hypnotic murmur that calms the human spirit. But the waterfall must be proportionate, subtle, not dominant. A 3 by 2 meter pond doesn't need a roaring cascade, it needs a breathing whisper. The ideal design? A 2-tier rock lip, where water trickles in layers, breaking into soft ripples. This design mimics a natural spring, organic, understated, timeless. At night, with soft lighting, it becomes a moving sculpture, a meditation in motion. The art of surroundings. A pond is never alone. It's part of a micro-landscape, and the world around it must serve the same harmony. Here's how to perfect the environment around your pond. 1. Ground texture. Replace standard pavement with pebble mosaic or washed gravel paths. This reduces splashback, improves drainage, and invites barefoot connection with the earth. 2. Greenery. Choose low-maintenance plants that accent the pond without overshadowing it. Dwarf bamboo for vertical lines. Japanese iris or lotus near the edges. Ferns and hostas for soft undergrowth. A single bonsai pine or maple for symbolic balance. 3. Perimeter flow. Ensure the edge of the pond blends naturally with the garden, no sharp concrete borders. Use curved stone or hidden edging to make the pond feel like it grew from the soil itself. The goal is to erase boundaries between man-made and natural. When your pond looks like it belongs to the land, it becomes immortal. Koi is living art. Your pond isn't complete without its living jewels, the koi. Each fish is a brushstroke of color and motion, and their beauty only shines when framed by clarity and calm design. In a pond of 3 by 2 meters, balance is key. Keep 5 to 7 adult koi at most. Choose contrasting varieties for visual harmony. Kohaku, white-red, Showa, black-red-white, and Ogon, solid gold, create a timeless triad. Observe how their colors interact with light. Red intensifies at sunset. White glows under moonlight. Gold mirrors every passing ray. That's not coincidence, that's art curated by nature. When you feed them, do it slowly. Let their movement tell the story of patience and gratitude. A true koi pond isn't about abundance, it's about intimacy. The maintenance philosophy. Care through consistency. A beautiful pond doesn't stay that way by accident. It's kept alive through quiet, consistent rituals, small actions that prevent big problems. Think of maintenance not as labor, but as meditation. Here's the golden routine followed by professional koi keepers. Daily. Observe your koi for behavior changes. Lethargy or gasping indicates imbalance. Skim the surface with a net for floating debris. Ensure the skimmer basket is clean. Weekly. Rinse Jetmate filter pads in pond water. Backwash the chambers via control pipe. Top up evaporated water, preferably with dechlorinated or aged water. Every 2 weeks. Replace 20 to 30% of pond water. Brush the walls gently with a soft broom to prevent algae film buildup. Every month. Recharge zeolite in saltwater overnight. Check UV light for function. Most bulbs need replacement every 6 to 9 months. Inspect pipe joints for moisture or air bubbles. Consistency keeps chaos away. It's not about how much effort you put in once, it's about the rhythm you maintain forever. Smart tools for effortless beauty. Modern innovation makes pond maintenance easier than ever, without compromising tradition. Automatic feeders maintain consistent nutrition schedules for koi. Solar aerators reduce electricity costs and keep oxygen levels steady. pH and dew sensors send smartphone alerts when water chemistry shifts. Smart UV timers control sterilization cycles automatically. But remember, technology should serve serenity, not replace it. Use it as an aid, not as armor. The most powerful maintenance tool is still your eyes, observation born from connection. Seasonal wisdom. Adapting to change. Just like nature, your pond moves in seasons, and each requires its own care. Spring. The awakening. Clean filters. Restart UV light, and feed fish lightly as temperatures rise. Summer. The bloom. Monitor oxygen closely. Warm water holds less of it. Increase aeration and partial water changes. Autumn. The balance. Remove fallen leaves promptly. Decaying organic matter can spike ammonia. Reduce feeding as metabolism slows. Winter. The rest. Avoid full draining. Slow filtration slightly. Feed sparingly or not at all in temperatures below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius. Each season is a verse in your pond's ongoing song, and your role is to keep the rhythm steady. The eternal return. In the end, a well-maintained pond becomes more than a landscape feature. It becomes a teacher. It teaches you patience, in the way water clears only after steady balance. It teaches you discipline, through small, repetitive acts of care. And it teaches you gratitude, when beauty reflects your effort without a word. The pond becomes a mirror of its keeper. If you're calm, it stays calm. If you're hurried, it clouds. That's not metaphor, it's physics infused with mindfulness. Beauty that lasts. The truest measure of a great pond isn't how stunning it looks on the day it's built, but how effortlessly it remains beautiful 10 years later. The design fades into habit. The sound becomes background music. The fish become family. You forget the system, but the system never forgets you. That's beauty that lasts. It's not decorative, it's devotional. Because the longer you live with a pond, the more it teaches you this one simple truth. Still water is not empty, it holds the reflection of everything that matters. And that reflection, year after year, becomes your reward. Part 10. Real-life performance and ROI, from hobby to eco-investment. Every drop of water in a koi pond tells a story, not just of beauty, but of value. Because behind the shimmer of scales and the calm surface reflection lies something deeper, a living investment. Building a koi pond isn't just about art or passion, it's about creating a micro-ecosystem that pays for itself through sustainability, longevity, and emotional return. For those who see beyond the surface, this isn't a hobby. It's eco-investment. Let's uncover the numbers, the benefits, and the real-world performance that make a 3 by 2 meter koi pond one of the smartest and most rewarding projects any homeowner, farmer, or entrepreneur can build. The cost of creation. Building the dream. Every great project starts with a plan, and every plan begins with understanding what you're truly investing in. For a 3 meter by 2 meter by 1 meter koi pond, the sweet spot for small-scale design, the investment can be seen as both practical and purposeful. The process begins with excavation and the creation of a reinforced concrete base about 10 to 12 centimeters thick, ensuring the foundation is solid enough to support thousands of liters of water. This step usually costs around $250 to $350, depending on local labor rates and materials. Next comes the wall construction, where concrete is carefully poured and shaped with fillet joints and gentle slopes to help with circulation and reduce pressure points. The builder also seals the walls to prevent leaks, a stage that typically adds another $250 to $400 to the total. The core of the system lies in its 4-chamber filtration unit, a custom-built masonry setup that includes dividers, plumbing, and drains designed for mechanical, biological, and chemical filtration. Building this system generally costs between $300 and $500, but it's the beating heart of the pond, the part that keeps the water pristine for years. The pipe network, the pond's arteries, connects everything together, using 2-inch and 2.5-inch PVC pipes, along with quality valves and couplers, ensures smooth water circulation between the pond and filter. Expect to invest another $150 to $250 here for high-grade fittings that won't degrade under constant pressure. Then comes waterproofing, the invisible armor of the pond. Applying 2 or 3 layers of fish-safe polyurethane or elastomeric coating seals every micro-crack and corner. This crucial finishing touch typically costs between $120 and $180, depending on brand and coverage area. A powerful yet energy-efficient pump and UV filter brings the system to life. The pump, capable of circulating 6.000 to 7.000 liters per hour, ensures full water turnover every hour. Paired with an 18-watt ultraviolet sterilizer, it keeps algae and pathogens under control. Together, these essential tools cost about $180 to $250. To support the filtration process, you'll also need filter media, Jetmate pads for mechanical filtration, bioballs for biological processing, and zeolite for chemical polishing. This combination of media typically runs between $100 and $180, depending on the quality and quantity. A pond is not just a technical project, it's a piece of living art. Adding aesthetic details like stone edging, a bamboo spout, and warm LED lights transforms the system into a centerpiece. These artistic enhancements cost about $150 to $250, but they're what make the pond come alive visually, especially under moonlight. And of course, no koi pond is complete without its living jewels, the koi themselves. A modest collection of 5 to 7 healthy fish, either Japanese or local varieties, will cost between $200 and $400. Each one adds personality, color, and motion, the true reward for every ounce of effort. Finally, there are the miscellaneous necessities: sealants, water testing kits, fine nets, air stones for oxygenation, and perhaps even a small backup power supply. These items together add another $100 to $200, completing the ecosystem and ensuring its reliability. Altogether, the entire pond, from dirt to perfection, typically requires an investment between $1,800 and $2,900 USD. That's less than the cost of a high-end smartphone. Yet it creates something timeless, a self-sustaining ecosystem that brings serenity, beauty, and balance to your daily life for decades to come. Would you like me to continue rewriting the rest of the cost and ROI section: energy efficiency, maintenance, emotional value, and long-term returns, into the same prose style? The energy equation, sustainable operation. Many people assume that maintaining a koi pond requires a lot of electricity. But in reality, a well-engineered system is surprisingly energy efficient. When the design is balanced, when gravity, filtration, and aeration work together, the pond becomes one of the most economical water systems you can operate. A high-quality pump rated around 6.000 liters per hour runs continuously, circulating the entire pond volume every hour to keep the ecosystem healthy. Despite working 24 hours a day, a 45-watt pump costs only about $4 per month in electricity. The UV sterilizer, which operates at roughly 18 watts to keep the water free from algae and pathogens, adds only another $1.50 to the bill. An air pump or oxygen diffuser, vital for maintaining dissolved oxygen levels that support fish and beneficial bacteria, typically runs at about 25 watts, costing just over $2 per month. Even the LED lighting, which enhances nighttime beauty and visibility, consumes so little power that 6 hours of soft illumination each evening adds barely 60 cents to the total. Altogether, this means your pond's entire electrical cost averages around $8 to $9 per month, or roughly $100 per year, less than a single dinner for two at a restaurant. For that modest amount, you sustain a living ecosystem that circulates, breathes, and glows around the clock. If you choose to integrate solar panels or a solar-powered backup pump, you can reduce this cost by half or even more. In sunny climates, the savings accumulate quickly, and the pond becomes not just sustainable, but nearly self-powered. True efficiency, then, isn't just about saving money, it's about designing harmony between technology and nature. The reward begins the moment you realize that beauty, serenity, and sustainability can coexist, powered quietly by nothing more than sunlight, water, and a little wisdom in engineering. The value of time, minimal maintenance, maximum reward. A backyard koi pond doesn't demand endless hours of cleaning and care. When the filtration system is designed properly, maintaining crystal clear water becomes less of a chore and more of a peaceful weekly ritual. The system practically runs itself, you simply help it stay balanced. Each morning, you can spend a few minutes observing your pond, checking that the surface is free of leaves or debris and that the skimmer basket is clear. This takes no more than 3 to 5 minutes but ensures the pond stays fresh and visually perfect. Once a week, it's time for a slightly deeper check. You'll rinse the Jetmate filter pads gently in pond water, never under tap water, which contains chlorine that kills beneficial bacteria. Then you'll backwash the filtration chambers to remove any settled waste. The whole process takes only 10 to 15 minutes. During this same weekly session, you might top up the water that's been lost to evaporation, a task that requires no more than 5 minutes. Every other week, replace about 20 to 30% of the water to maintain mineral balance and oxygen levels. It's a good time to notice how your fish are behaving. Active, curious, and calm means the system is in harmony. Once a month, refresh the zeolite filter media by soaking it overnight in salt water to recharge its ability to absorb ammonia. This simple process takes about half an hour and keeps your pond chemistry stable. Roughly every 9 months, the UV bulb will need to be replaced, a quick 5-minute task that ensures your sterilizer keeps algae and pathogens under control. Altogether, the entire maintenance routine adds up to about 30 to 40 minutes per week, less time than mowing a small lawn or washing your car. Yet these few moments of quiet attention keep an entire aquatic ecosystem healthy and self-sustaining. In the end, maintenance isn't just about keeping water clean, it's about preserving balance. The routine becomes a rhythm, a way to slow down, observe, and connect with the living world you've created. What begins as care soon turns into mindfulness. And as your pond thrives, you'll realize you haven't just maintained it, it has quietly begun to maintain you. The emotional ROI, the wealth you can't measure. Ask any pond keeper what their koi pond truly gives them, and they'll never begin with money. They'll talk about mornings spent watching the fish rise in slow motion. They'll mention the silence that replaces stress, the rhythm of bubbles, and the strange peace of feeding living jewels by hand. There's a reason doctors and psychologists use aquascapes for therapy. Water resets the human mind. It slows the heartbeat. It lowers cortisol. It transforms a backyard into a meditation garden. You can't chart that on a spreadsheet, but it might be the most valuable return of all. The financial ROI, appreciation and resale value. Let's bring the conversation back to tangible economics. A well-designed koi pond isn't just a decoration, it's a property enhancer. According to global real estate trends, homes with water features sell up to 15 to 20% faster than comparable listings. High-quality ponds can increase perceived property value by $5,000 to $10,000 USD, depending on craftsmanship and landscaping. In luxury or eco-lifestyle communities, that value can double, because serenity sells. Even if you invest $2,500 in construction, you're potentially adding 2 to 3x that amount to your property's market appeal. That's not a hobby, that's strategy. The ecological ROI, a living carbon filter. In an age where sustainability is no longer optional, a koi pond doubles as a miniature environmental system. Each square meter of pond surface generates measurable ecological value. It absorbs heat and reduces surrounding ambient temperature by up to 3 degrees Celsius, 5 degrees Fahrenheit. It traps airborne dust and carbon particles, improving air quality. It supports biodiversity, dragonflies, pollinators, beneficial microbes. It recycles nutrients, turning organic waste into natural fertilizer for nearby plants. If integrated with a rainwater harvesting system, your pond can store and purify hundreds of liters of runoff that would otherwise be wasted. The ROI here is planetary, not just personal. The business perspective, monetizing passion. For entrepreneurs and homesteaders, the modern koi pond isn't just relaxation, it's opportunity. Here are several income-generating models inspired by this eco-art form. 1. Koi breeding and sales. Starting with 5 to 7 healthy breeders, small-scale owners can raise 100 to 200 fry per cycle. Quality juvenile koi sell from $10 to $100 each depending on color and lineage. A single breeding pair can yield $1,000 to $2,000 annually. 2. Pond design consultation or construction. Once you master the craft, your experience becomes valuable. Homeowners, cafes, and hotels are willing to pay for custom pond designs or installations. 3. Content creation and YouTube revenue. Beautiful ponds attract attention globally. Channels like The Farmer's Alley showcase koi ponds not just as builds, but as stories of innovation and peace. Monetization from views, sponsorships, and affiliate tools can turn passion into profit. 4. Ecotourism and hospitality integration. Resorts and Airbnb hosts now use Zen ponds as premium amenities. Guests are willing to pay more for a tranquil environment, an investment that pays dividends every night. In essence, your pond becomes both art and asset. The hidden profit, learning, mastery, and legacy. Every time you tweak the water flow, feed your fish, or clean the filter, you're not maintaining a machine, you're mastering a craft. The real profit of a koi pond is wisdom. You learn about chemistry, physics, biology, patience, and harmony. You learn that ecosystems don't respond to control, they respond to respect. That every adjustment is a dialogue, not a command. And one day, when you teach someone else how to build their own pond, when you see them smile at their first reflection, that's when you realize the return you've been building all along. Case study: the backyard investor. Let's imagine two neighbors, both with the same 30 square meter backyard. Neighbor A spends $2,000 building a concrete patio, some furniture, and potted plants. After 2 years, the tiles fade, the chairs rust, and the area is used less and less. Neighbor B spends $2,500 building a 3x2 meter koi pond with filtration, lighting, and plants. After 2 years, the pond is still pristine. Visitors stop by to admire it. Property value rises. Stress levels drop. Who made the smarter investment? The answer is clear, literally. Because one built something that depreciates. The other built something that appreciates in beauty, value, and peace every day it exists. Long-term ROI, the 10-year perspective. When you look at a koi pond not just as a hobby but as a long-term investment, its value becomes clearer over time. A well-built, properly balanced pond can last 20 to 30 years with very little repair. In fact, over a 10-year period, the total cost of ownership is modest compared to what it gives back. Let's imagine your pond after 10 years of care. The annual cost of power and maintenance, electricity for pumps, UV lights, and small repairs averages about $120 per year, or roughly $1,200 over a decade. Replacing UV bulbs and filter media periodically costs another $50 per year, or $500 in total. The fish feed, which keeps your koi healthy and colorful, adds about $80 annually, or $800 across 10 years. If you combine these recurring costs with the initial construction investment of around $2,500, the total comes to roughly $5,000 over 10 years. That's the cost of a single vacation, yet it creates a living, self-sustaining ecosystem that enhances your home every day. Now, consider the returns. A well-designed, crystal-clear koi pond can increase your property value by $5,000 to $10,000, depending on design and landscaping. If you decide to breed or sell juvenile koi, even a small-scale setup can generate $1,000 to $2,000 per year. And beyond financial numbers, the personal return, the calm, beauty, and peace it brings, is something that can't be priced. Over the years, you'll find that the pond doesn't just hold water, it holds value. Financially, emotionally, and spiritually, it keeps giving back. What started as a backyard project becomes something much greater, a living, appreciating asset that rewards you every single day with reflection, serenity, and the quiet satisfaction of sustainable beauty. The pond is philosophy. At the end of every calculation, there's something numbers can't contain: serenity. When you build a pond, you're not just investing in water. You're investing in time, in the stillness between breaths, in the way reflection slows your thoughts. Every ripple becomes a lesson in patience. Every fish, a symbol of resilience. Every clear morning, proof that what you build with balance lasts. A well-designed pond gives more than it takes. It gives calm in chaos. It gives purpose in maintenance. It gives beauty that repays its cost 1,000-fold. That is the true return on investment. From hobby to heritage. The day you finish your pond isn't the end, it's the beginning of a legacy. Because this isn't just about engineering or decoration. It's about passing down something sacred, a living system that teaches harmony, care, and patience to whoever tends it next. Someday, your children or grandchildren will feed the same fish, hear the same soft waterfall, and understand, without you saying a word, that peace is something we build. And that's when your pond transcends the backyard. It becomes inheritance, not of wealth, but of wisdom. You began this journey with concrete, pipes, and filters. Now, what you hold is something infinitely rarer, a living reflection of harmony, prosperity, and purpose. This is not just a pond. This is your eco-investment, your water that earns peace. Part 11. The Art of Balance, the Philosophy of Water. When the last stone is placed, when the pump hums softly, and when the water first clears to glass, that's the moment every pond builder waits for. But the truth is, what you've built isn't just a structure. It's a philosophy made visible. Because the secret of a perfect koi pond isn't hidden in the filters, the pipes, or even the fish. It's hidden in a single word that has guided Japanese pond masters for centuries. Harmony. Harmony between art and engineering. Between control and surrender. Between the human hand and the will of water. The heartbeat beneath the surface. If you kneel beside a crystal clear pond and close your eyes, you can hear it, a slow, steady rhythm. It's not the pump. It's not the waterfall. It's the living pulse of balance, the soft inhalation and exhalation of an ecosystem that breathes in silence. Every chamber, every filter, every grain of gravel works together like organs in a living being. The water cycles. The bacteria feed and renew. The fish glide, graceful, unhurried, eternal. This is not coincidence. This is design and devotion. Because when a pond runs perfectly, it doesn't look like technology. It looks like peace. The duality of water, power and patience. Water is a paradox, both gentle and unstoppable. It can carve mountains and yet cradle life. It yields, but it never breaks. And in the world of pond building, water teaches its most sacred lesson. You can't force clarity, you invite it. A beginner thinks, if I add more filters, more chemicals, more power, the pond will clear faster. But a master knows, clarity comes from balance, not control. Water responds to patience, not pressure. It wants to flow, not be forced. And so the builder becomes a listener instead of a commander. A pond isn't built against water, it's built with it. That's why the most successful koi ponds, the ones that remain pristine for decades, share one invisible feature: humility. The builder respected the laws of water, not just the rules of design. The human reflection. You are the pond. Every pond keeper eventually discovers something uncanny. Over time, the pond begins to mirror its owner. When you're calm, the water clears. When you're distracted, the water clouds. When you neglect it, it rebels. It's not mysticism, it's energy and attention. The pond thrives on rhythm, feeding, cleaning, adjusting, observing. And when your habits break, so does the pond's harmony. This is the secret most manuals forget to tell you. You don't maintain a pond, it maintains you. Each act of care, each small adjustment, becomes a meditation. The water teaches you to slow down. The fish remind you to breathe. The system reflects your balance back to you. The science of serenity. What you feel standing by a koi pond, that deep calm, that weightless silence, isn't just emotional. It's biological. Researchers from Kyoto University discovered that observing slow aquatic motion for just 10 minutes reduces human heart rate and stress hormones by over 20%. The reason? Our brains are wired to synchronize with natural rhythms. When we watch flowing water, our nervous system mirrors its flow, smooth, continuous, balanced. It's why people say, I could watch this pond all day. Because in that gaze, your mind resets to its natural pace. That's why every great koi pond is more than landscape design. It's a healing instrument, a silent therapist built of stone, water, and patience. From noise to stillness. The modern world runs on noise, deadlines, engines, screens, notifications. We live in acceleration. A pond, by contrast, is the art of deceleration. When you feed your fish, you have to stop. When you clean your filter, you slow your hands. When you sit beside the pond, time stretches, seconds become minutes, and minutes feel infinite. That's not wasted time. That's restored time. In the quiet reflection of water, you remember something ancient, that life isn't meant to be rushed. It's meant to flow. The language of flow. Look closer, and you'll notice something beautiful. No two ripples are ever the same. The waterfall doesn't repeat itself. The fish never swim in identical patterns. Even the sunlight changes tone every hour. This impermanence is the essence of wabi-sabi, the Japanese philosophy of finding beauty in imperfection and transience. A leaf floating on the pond, a small crack in a rock, a ripple breaking the reflection, they aren't flaws. They're what make the scene alive. Your pond isn't supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be honest. The true beauty lies not in the stillness of the water, but in its endless movement, just like life. Lessons from the koi. Among all the creatures on earth, the koi fish may be one of the most symbolic. In Japanese culture, they represent perseverance, transformation, and destiny. A koi swimming upstream against the current is a metaphor for human determination. When it finally reaches the waterfall and leaps beyond, legend says it transforms into a dragon, a creature of wisdom and power. Your pond is that river. Every koi in it, a reflection of resilience. Every ripple, a reminder that growth requires struggle, but struggle leads to beauty. That's why watching them isn't just relaxing, it's inspiring. They embody what every builder must learn. The current is not your enemy, it's your training. Design is mindfulness. To design a pond is to design stillness. Every curve, every level, every reflection should lead the eye and the heart toward calm. That's why great pond builders are part engineer, part philosopher. They don't ask, how much water can this hold? They ask, how much peace can this create? The chamber layout becomes more than plumbing, it becomes a rhythm of flow and pause. Action and rest. The sound of the waterfall becomes a heartbeat, strong enough to remind you life moves. Soft enough not to disturb your silence. Every design choice is emotional architecture. A pond, when done right, isn't just something you look at. It's something you feel through. The eternal equation. Bio plus tech plus art. Modern koi ponds are marvels because they represent a union of opposites. Biology, bacteria, oxygen, life. Technology, pumps, pipes, UV. Art, balance, proportion, light. When these three merge, you achieve the holy trinity of pond perfection, what we call biomechanical harmony. It's the same principle that guides modern sustainability. Let technology serve nature, not overpower it. A pond is nature enhanced, not replaced. It's proof that human intelligence can cooperate with ecological wisdom, not just exploit it. That's the future of living design, systems that heal, not harm. The circle of continuity. Every great pond tells the same silent story. Water flows, filters, clears, evaporates, and returns. The process never ends. There is no finish line. And in that cycle lies the secret to longevity, not just for your pond, but for everything you build in life. What you maintain with rhythm lasts. What you neglect decays. That's why pond keepers age slower, live calmer, and smile more often. Because they live inside that rhythm. They understand the nature of flow, that progress isn't about racing forward, but about circulating steadily. A legacy of stillness. Years from now, when you walk out to your garden and see the same water still clear, the same koi still swimming, you'll realize something extraordinary. You've built more than a pond, you've built continuity. A living reminder that peace isn't found, it's cultivated. That engineering can be spiritual, That silence can be art. The pond won't just outlast your tools. It will outlast your worries. And maybe, long after you're gone, someone else will stand in that same place, listen to the same waterfall, and feel the same peace you once felt, without ever knowing your name. That is the beauty of invisible legacy. The kind that doesn't scream, it whispers. The kind that endures. Final reflection. The pond is a mirror. At the very end of this journey, when everything settles, your pond will stop being something you built. It will become a mirror. Look into it, and you'll see yourself, calmer, wiser, patient. You'll see the person who didn't just chase success but built serenity with their own hands. That reflection, shimmering, alive, peaceful, is the truest reward of all. Because in building your pond, you didn't just master filtration, design, or balance. You mastered yourself. This is where the blueprint ends, and where your reflection begins. Your 3 by 2 meter pond isn't a project anymore. It's a living poem, one that writes itself with every ripple, every sunrise, every koi that glides beneath the surface. So when you stand there tomorrow, and see your water shining like crystal under the morning light, remember this. You didn't just build a pond. You built harmony. You built peace. You built your legacy in water.